by this point in the course, you know that the goal of discussion is for us to explore the content from the readings while bringing in some of our own analysis, perspective, experiences, and maybe a little bit of analysis and some new examples that really bring the material to life. So I wanted to offer some advice specific to this week's discussion. Our goal is going to be to do a deep dive in a vowel and really explore it. And so you are going to select one of the vowels that we've covered, and you're going to start to look at the intersection of phonetics with the higher aspects of language. So let me give you an example. If I were to choose the schwa, so what I could do is I could explain to you how it's produced. I could explain some of the graphemes that are associated with it. You can go through a list of all of the allographs, and that comes from the text, right? So I could summarize that to some degree. I could add some novel examples. That's my starting point. But the analysis comes in when you start to look at where you expect to find the schwa as patterns of language. So one of the ways, one of the areas that it comes in is for the morpheme at the end of a word, which means a person who does something. So a lawyer, a doctor, a scholar, and even those are spelled differently. The morpheme at the end is a person who does something, and it usually comes at the end of the word, and it usually is a schwa. So there's that. There's also the comparative. When we add it to an adjective to compare the size of something or the nature of something, to compare it to something else, like smaller, bigger, prettier, uglier. So we add and it means that we're comparing two things. All right, that would be another linguistic aspect that we could discuss. We could also look at it in the middles of words. Sometimes is the weak syllable. So from the text, we know that only occurs in unstressed syllables. So we could mention that. But when we explore it and analyze and add to it, we might say something like, it could be the weak syllable between primary stress and a secondary stress syllable, and it could be the weak syllable in between them. For example, we could have ampersand, balderdash, Spider-Man, gingerbread, okay? So those would be some examples of in the middles of words as the weak syllable, okay? So this requires for you to recognize some patterns, to think about some higher order things. And what's great about it is that this exploration is going to start feeding your top-down knowledge, so that when you go into transcription and you're trying to figure out what exactly you're hearing, this sort of knowledge can help tune your ear. So if you know, oh wait, this is an ER ending, those tend to be the schwa, let me listen again and see if it sounds like the schwa. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. And so it's great to have some summary and some citation from the text, but then you're going to take it much, much further by incorporating the patterns you find in the English language. I hope this helps.